Okay. Hi. Um, I'm in the middle of, editing stuff on my book, and I can't stay on here, uh, that much longer. I really want to get this done. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go for a tour while I talk about that a little bit. Okay, so Esperanza's Party is totally and utterly edited perfectly the way I wanted it. I even updated some things because, things just weren't clear. And so I had to rewrite them a little bit. But yeah, so it's the same on all three files. I say all three because I do offer my books in Kindle, paperback, and hardback. And and I really love them. Uh, they're not they're not going exactly the way I originally planned them, because it was, like, okay, so like way back when, like I started writing these books in 1995. So like way back when, the idea was that they were gonna get captured by the bad guys, and then they'd get released by the bad guys, and then, they'd be sailing along on the ocean, and then all of a sudden get captured by bad guys again. It was gonna be a recurring theme. Not okay, but, it'll do, kind of thing. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna go with that anymore. Cause, like, there's, the main bad guy is, Jonathan. Well, eventually, after they've got kids and all that, um, uh, he's not gonna be in the story anymore. I'm not gonna tell you why, though. Anyway, point is that then there's not really a bad guy. And then there's, like, the original bad guy, Jonathan, and then there's another bad guy, Angelano. Okay, so it's Jonathan Harley and Angelano DeGrisnio, because I couldn't think of how you would say it, how you would have the guy's name be Angel as a short form without making up Angelano. I don't know if that's even a real name or not, but that's what I came up with. So anyway, um, um, so anyway, right now I am done with Esperanza's Party. It's totally done. I just have to re-audio it because, it's not right on the audio version anymore. But, that'll come in time. Right now I'm working on, okay, I'm about to. Be working on, the island, because, I realized I put the file on there, That's no big deal, that's fine. But I didn't bother to check to see if all the chapter titles are on the right side. And I do mean right side, I do not mean correct side. I want them to be on the right. So, like, when you open up the book, all of the chapter titles will be on the right page, you know, the right side page. Um, which leads to a little bit of awkwardness that there'll be either a blank page across from that, or there'll be words from the previous chapter. So, anyway, the book is now like 309 pages, and I'm really happy about that because that was the idea. That really was. It was the idea. So I just got inspired to get out of this minecart and there, okay. I just got inspired to go and take this and go out this way with it. Because at least this, I know, is gonna end up over there somewhere. Oh no! So I wasn't gonna do this today. I was gonna get off as soon as that uh section of mountain was disappeared. And then I'm like, well, I need to let people know that Esperanza's party is finished. It's okay, so it's on Amazon in ebook, paperback, and hardback, and ready to be bought. Or, well, I should say it will be ready to be bought in about 72 hours. So, say, wait until July 8th if you're going to buy one of my books. If you're going to buy, that book, because it's not set in stone yet, apparently. They always say, 72 72 hours. I actually bought one of my books and it said 72 hours, and then it was the previous version. Or was it that I bought it, like it said it was set in stone and I didn't wait the 72 hours? I think that's what happened, is that I didn't wait the 72 hours. And it wasn't okay because it was the previous version, not the one that I was trying to get. But anyway, I'm going to do this for all of my books that are on there, except for Coral's book, because, it doesn't need to be there. There are no chapters. It's not a chapter book. Oh, yeah, I just realized I have not mentioned that before. Adopted Coral is not a chapter book. It's just, it's just the story in uh one big chapter, but not a chapter book, you know. So, I could put in chapters, but I'm not going to. Okay, wait a minute. I am so confused right now. Okay. Um, Anyway, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's try this again. There you go. So the cool thing is that I will be pretty much done probably by the time that um 4th of July fireworks start tomorrow. Oh yeah, that was something else I was gonna say. Happy day before 4th of July. If you don't know okay, so if you don't know what 4th of July is, it's an American holiday, and I don't, even though I'm an American, I don't quite understand what happened, but oh, yeah, okay, I suddenly remembered. I'm sorry. So like we used to live, like Americans used to live in, Britain, and were like feeling like we were oppressed by the British, like we couldn't have freedom of religion um and do what we wanted to do. So we decided to come to America, and we've been Americans ever since. Well, we signed something called the Declaration of Independence, and yeah, so we set off fireworks to celebrate that. I think everybody's forgotten about that, and a lot of people also remember the soldiers who died to help us get here. And I'm sure that when we were still in Britain, there was a whole bunch of people who, had attitude against the British, and started fights and stuff. So, I'm trying to explain it in like better terms than what you would get at school, because, like nobody quite understands the way that people, well, I would think that, hardly anybody understands how they say it in school, because we don't word it that way anymore. Like we had a war. Okay, what is a war? All we know is what we see on TV, and that looks like, sunshine and roses. They don't show the part where, it's like, I think it was The Patriot, or maybe it was just called Patriot. Anyway, it's got Mel Gibson in it, and that was a pretty bloody movie. Apparently, I have not seen it. Like I saw one person. Uh, I saw what happened to one person and decided I am not watching this movie. Um, yeah, because okay, so you watch Braveheart and you think that's pretty bad, but then you go and watch The Patriot and it's like a lot worse. On the, on the blood and guts kind of thing. So I will not watch it. Um, yeah, and I shouldn't be talking about that on here, because, what if a little kid's gonna watch this? So yeah, I'm gonna change the subject back to my books. So I spent a good part of yesterday trying to finish the last read the last 60 pages, compare it with the hardback version, between the paperback and the hardback. And I felt like I was never going to get done. And, and it actually went really smoothly. I was surprised. It actually went really good, and I got it all done. And God says pride comes before a fall, but I'm like really proud of myself because I actually got it done. But not pride comes before a fall kind of pride. Just, I'm happy. um, yeah, I'm just super happy that it got done, and then then came the process of, like I said, making sure that all of the chapter titles are on the right side of the book. You know, when you open it up, um, all of the chapter titles should be on the right side. Well, then I was having a problem, like today, I was having a big problem because chapter 45 was it? Yeah, chapter 45 was on the left. And I'm like, okay, so let's fix this. And I did what I needed to fix it. And then I went back into it and it was still on the left. So I'm like, okay, I don't get this. But anyway, I went and fixed it again and it finally got right. It finally got correct. But wow. That took way longer than it was supposed to. But anyway. And the only way to figure out which side of the book it's going to be on is to go into the preview on Amazon, because that's where I'm publishing right now. Anyway, to go into the preview on Amazon and uh, go through every single page, and as soon as you find the problem, one that isn't on the right hand side, it's on the left, then you got to go in. You got to go back to Word, fix it, and you can't have them open up at the same time. You can't have that file open up at the same time because it's loading it into Amazon. So, yeah, it's a lot harder than I was expecting it to be. But I mean, I knew it was going to be this hard, but it's a lot harder than I originally expected it to be, when I first started this stuff. And I really wish I would have known about Amazon a lot sooner, that I could publish with them and that it didn't cost money, because I would have probably been making money a lot sooner. I don't make much money off of my books yet, but I'm hoping to eventually. Like I said, if people buy my books, then I can go and donate to the food bank. And I don't just want to donate nice, healthy food and, make sure that I give those power bars and what's the other stuff? The power bars and the uh wheat germ cupcakes or whatever. I may have just made those up, but we've gotten some pretty weird stuff. Um, that you wouldn't normally eat yourself, but you donated it to the food bank. You know, I wanna, like I remember when we were poorer than we are now, and people would donate cakes at the beginning of the month, or maybe it was a store donated cakes because they were out of date or almost out of date, but they were still to where you could eat them. They weren't green or anything like that. Although we have found stuff that was green, and that's what prompted this, because just because you're poor doesn't mean you don't deserve good food like everybody else. I mean, somebody out there might actually like some penicillin in their food, but I don't, and I would like to help out with that because, uh, like, one of the food banks before we moved to Tahoe, one of the food banks constantly had milk sitting out, not in a refrigerator, because it was just a big warehouse building, and they had milk just sitting out, not in a refrigerator, and it wasn't powdered milk, it was, regular milk. And so you would get it, and A, it would be out of date, and B, it would smell like it was bad. So, I want to prevent that. I don't know that I can get to every food bank in the world, or if there's even food banks outside of America, but, I would like to try. I know I'm not going to single handedly end world hunger, but I would like to try. But I also want to, donate money to end cancer. There was a time that we thought that we weren't going to be able to end HIV and AIDS, and and I don't know if we've gotten rid of it, but we've at least gotten it down to where they don't have a commercial every 5 seconds. And so I really want to okay, so I want to get rid of cancer. I want to be able to, well, I want to be able to donate money to get rid of cancer because I can't do it myself. I know I can't. Science is not my thing. And although I did find a really good cure for COVID, um, maybe not cure, but it worked to make us all better. Those pink Benadryl like pills at Costco seemed to work for me and my husband. I don't know if it works for everybody, but I know it worked for me and my husband. I want to, I want to end all strings of COVID. That was ridiculous. Um, I would kind of like to end anybody having the flu ever again, too. Like, the flu has gotten to be a super flu the last few years. And I'm starting to think it's not the flu anymore. Because when I was growing up, pardon the way I'm going to say this, because I'm just going to be blunt about it. When I was a kid, you got the flu, you threw up, a few times, several times, whatever, and then you got all better a few days later. And it was awesome. But nowadays, people are dying from it. So, not an ideal situation. But yeah. Um and I would like to be able to donate to Toys for Tots. Like I would like to be able to go to Walmart and fill up that box every day. Cuz that's the only place that I know that does Toys for Tots right now. Um I know other places used to do it. I don't know if they still do in our town. Um, I don't know if the other places still do, but Walmart usually does. And I would like to be able to go every day and fill up that box. And because it's usually a big box. And it would be nice to be able to go there every day and fill it up with Barbies and Paw Patrol stuff and um, all kinds of things. Maybe, it's not ideal, but maybe a school backpack and it's got all the supplies that you need for school, but also has whatever you wanted for Christmas, you know? It'd be so awesome. Um, I'd kind of like to talk them into doing a. Wait, that's not right, is it? No. Okay. I don't quite like this, though. There we go. I don't quite like this because when you look at it from a distance, it just looks like exactly what I just built. I don't know. So, um, and make a wish. You know how like when a little kid's got cancer, um, I keep using the little kid has cancer because that's what I remember happening. Is there was a kid and I don't remember if it was a boy or a girl, so I'm just gonna keep calling it a kid. Um, and they supposedly had terminal cancer, and all they wanted to do was ride a horse before they went. And I think that would be so fun to be able to make those kind of wishes come true. It would be awesome. Um, and that little poor kid that is never going to see Disneyland without help. Like their parents can get time off from work and stuff, but they just can't afford it. It would be really nice to be able to help out with that too. Or anywhere else, like Legoland. So, so I thought it was kind of funny because one of the people I watch on YouTube, they've got a 1 year old, and they took him to Legoland, and it's like, okay, you took a 1 year old to Legoland. That doesn't quite make sense. They can play with the bigger version by Mega Blocks, but they really shouldn't. They probably really shouldn't be playing with the uh, normal size Legos. The Lego Legos. But I thought it was really cool because he's like sitting there. There's a ride, and I don't even know what ride because they didn't say, but there was a ride, and apparently it had screaming in it. That's not good because uh, he didn't like, the little guy didn't like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Perfect. Okay. Unless I counted it wrong, but we'll figure that out later. Okay. Anyway, he was sitting there and he was totally fascinated with the ride. And then the thing I was just saying okay about is uh I watch Pop's Disney Adventures. Is that what's yeah, Pop's Disney Adventures. It's all one word, but the D, the P, and the A are all capitalized. Anyway, he goes to Disneyland every day. Oh, it looks like the clock's gonna tell time. Oh my goodness. I almost thought they had taken that out. It's a minute early though. Well, I think they started out a minute early, so then when it actually is time, it uh, does what it's supposed to do. But it looked like that area was really super. I wish he'd zoom in. It was really super. You didn't even get the whole thing! Maybe he's trying to get a better view. But anyway, it looked really empty around It's a Small World. Okay, it sounds so rude, but he's fired. He goes all the way over there, sees the little dolls um dancing like they're supposed to tell the time, and then he goes away before the doors open and show what time it is. Maybe he knows something I don't, but you know. There is a possibility. So yeah, I just got inspired to do that while I was writing the um minecart. So I'm like, let's do this. And I really wasn't going to be on here until 11. I'm still debating whether I'm going to stream on 4th of July or not, because I've got plenty of videos coming out on 4th of July every 15 minutes, starting at 8 o'clock. Um, they're mostly going to be my fireworks. If I had had my own way, and I didn't, but I still could, I think. But if I had my own way, then I would definitely be having, um, I would definitely be having, more videos of, like all the fireworks I've ever done. But I don't have my own way on that one because, uh, previous fireworks displays are on externals that I no longer have access to. External hard drive, if you don't know what that is, I think most people do, but if you don't know what that is, it's like an extra computer brain that isn't in the computer, but uh, you can plug it in and use it as if it is inside the computer. What I need to be able to do is get a computer that I can, uh, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to make a computer, but if I could get a computer kit to where I could put in as many hard drives as I need, um, 8 terabyte hard drives, and put everything from every uh, hard drive that I've ever owned on it. That'd be awesome. Okay, so we're we're not gonna do the track today. Maybe we'll leave that for tomorrow. Um, if I do, okay, so if I do stream tomorrow, it's going to be golf with your friends. And I was, I didn't think that they were watching my videos, the golf with your friends people, but I said on one of my videos, well, actually I said on several of my videos, is it supposed to be golf with your friends or is it supposed to be golf with friends? Because I didn't know one way or the other. Because when we first uh, started playing that game, it said golf with friends. And then they went and changed it to golf with your friends. So I liked that. It seemed like they were listening. It was awesome. Okay, so, well, it's 10:06, and I could just sit here and do this, but like I said, I really want to get that story done. Haven't had breakfast yet. Yeah, I know, that's a very bad habit I have. Um, oh, we're not putting houses on this side. That's why this isn't a very important project. It's important, it's just not very important. So the thing that I'm working on today is making sure that the island has all the chapter titles on the correct side of the book, which is the right side. I don't know why. I just don't like it when it shows up on the left. It's not okay. So, you put in a page break and it makes it all better. Problem is that there's three different things. There's three different kinds of page breaks, and I don't know how to. I really don't know how to use. I know how to use the page breaks, but I don't know how to make it to where you get the section break part of it. So you end up um, with the I okay, so I like to have page one be on the right side with the chapter title, of course. Um, the chapter one chapter title. And I don't know how to do that at all whatsoever in 365, and nobody has made a really good uh, book book thing, even in ebook, as far as I can tell, that shows how to do that. So I had to go and complain to Microsoft. I'm like, I don't know how to do this and I need this. This is something very important to me. And the guy figured it out, but sometimes it doesn't copy over like it's supposed to when I go and copy say if I copied Esperanza's party but went and changed it to be um if I wanted to use the Esperanza's party as my template of how to do things, um I wouldn't be able to do that necessarily because sometimes the page numbers don't copy over. And I got really frustrated with that. And so I would like to know how to do it myself. Because the guy, he had to poke around and figure it out. And then he told me how to do it, and I knew how to do it for like 5 minutes, and then I didn't know how to do it at all. So, so thank you to guy who helped me figure that out. But I do not know how to do it still. Uh, yeah. I mean, like, I think he had to go and take control of my computer, and he went and figured it out, but he wasn't good at explaining it. I wasn't good at understanding it, and that's not a good combination. But it's okay. You know, I will figure out how to do it, and even if I, like I said, even if I have to copy Esperanza's party and do it the hard way. um, Esperanza's party is only 300 and something pages, so it shouldn't be too bad. But yeah, I'm like really excited because I got done the day before 4th of July fireworks, so I don't have to worry about it. Because I thought, I seriously thought it was going to take until after 4th of July fireworks, and I was going to be like worrying that it's not done yet and, not have fun. But now I can have fun. And I still gotta figure out, um, we still gotta figure out, are we going to our fireworks? Are we going to Tahoe fireworks? Those are even better than ours. They have they have fireworks that look like dice, smiley faces, all that neat stuff. And I think that is still the case. They are the third best fireworks in America. Surpassed by New York, I think is number one, and I don't remember who's number two. Hmm. Okay. So I'm like hungry and I really need to get off of here, but it's not 11 yet. And I've run out of things to talk about, really. Well, okay, so after I'm done, I don't know that I did this on the other three books. I think I did, but I don't know that I did. So once I'm done with the island, I'm gonna have to go back and for Pirate's Daughter, Misfortune, and Hard Times, I'm gonna have to go and make sure that they're on the chapter titles are all on the right. And um, yeah, I was really happy. I only had one problem on the ebook version of Esperanza's Party. I just forgot a page break, and it was one of those things where you have to make sure that it's in the right spot. There was a sentence at the end of chapter 20. Like, chapter 20 goes all the way down to the bottom of the page. So there was, it started with an M, if I remember correctly. Anyway, it started with an M, if I remember correctly. That line, anyway. And so I got to the end of the paragraph there at the bottom of the page and put in a page break. And then I had to go because it makes a blank page in between. Um, but instead, so I've got a file that says Esperanza's Party ebook, Esperanza's Party paperback, Esperanza's Party hardback. But for the ebook, I went to the end of page 20, put in that page break, and then I went and had to delete the. I had to get it to where the thing that says page break was after that paragraph instead of leaving a gap, and that's really easy. It's not hard. I'm making it sound like it's really hard, but it's not. It's just a matter of using your backspace key. No problem. Um, but yeah, I did that and it was all better. The rest of the book was just fine. And because in the ebook, it doesn't matter what side of the page I mean, which page they're on, because there really are no pages. I was actually surprised how little time it took to get through the whole entire book, you know, by clicking. But anyway, it was, pretty easy to go through. And like I said, I only had one problem. But with the other two books, the other two copies of the book, I had so many problems. I was just about to cry after I was done with while I was working on the paperback version, because it kept like crashing and not letting me change stuff. It's like, okay, you've been through this preview how many times? Why isn't it finished yet? And like the program was throwing a fit. So that wasn't helping my mood at all. You know, I was just having problems. But yeah, I got it done, and then I got to go on Minecraft for a little while, and you know, the game that we're on now, of course. But yeah, I got to go on Minecraft for a while, and it was a lot better. My son even got on. I have no idea what he did. He didn't talk to me at all. He didn't invite me to a party or, headset party. Um, any of that stuff. So, yeah, I just thought of that. Okay, so when you're on Xbox, it says, so and so invited you to a party. Well, what does it say on, like, um, PlayStation and Switch and stuff? Does it say party? I never thought about that before. It's not important, but it's like, what do you call it? Because if we ever got silly enough to get a PlayStation again, I used to like PlayStation, okay, and then we got Gotham Racing on the original Xbox. Not Xbox 360, not Xbox One, not Xbox Series S, and not Series X, but Gotham Racing for the original Xbox. That was my favorite game for the longest time there. I would play that every day, and I had actually beat everything on the easy level, and I was working on getting everything beat on the harder levels. Um, I think okay, so I think there was okay, we'll go with how Disneyland Adventures puts it because that's the only way that I can think of it right now. Um, it had, like the bronze, and then it had silver, and then it had gold, and then it had platinum. We'll put it that way, but it's really difficulty levels, how hard it was. But yeah, I got everything done on the bronze or easy level, and I think I was either working on the medium level or what should be the silver level um, on Disneyland Adventures. I was either working on that one or I had gotten that one done, and I was still trying to figure out the next level up before super hard. um, I think it's super hard anyway. But that one, you had like the same race for each level. It's just, uh, you know, are you going to win easily or are you going to win a little difficulty, uh, more difficulty than that, or what felt like super difficulty? Like, are you going to be racing against professionals, amateurs, or total noobs? And that was before you could play the games over the internet with, other people in the world. So you were playing by yourself against computer bots. I think you can still play that on uh, Xbox through Game Pass, but I'm not sure. I uninstalled it because I got Forza Horizon games, and I like those even better. Well, I liked Forza Horizon 5 until I got kind of to a stopping point. Like, I can't land this one jump where you get a oh, I think it said fast pass. I know I've got like Disney on the brain kind of, but cuz that's the video that's playing pretty much silently in the background on YouTube. um I know y'all can't hear it cuz I can't. Yeah, I mean, like, I can barely hear it. I can't tell what they're saying. I just know that they may be talking. Um, yeah, I'm a little worried about tomorrow because we're gonna go see the fireworks. I know that, but um, but if we have to, like, if my husband gets recruited to close the store, he says he has no knowledge of how to close the store. But if he ended up having to close the store, then uh the store closes at 9 and the fireworks are at 9:30, we'd have to go and or well, we wouldn't be able to pick up my mother-in-law, and I'd have to walk over there to catch up with him. Hopefully he'll pick a better spot this time though. Cuz last year we had a electrical wire or telephone wire or some kind of wire in the way. And then on top of that, we had uh he pretty much parked on a short cliff. It was fine for him because he's 6 foot three and some odd, but me, I'm this little 5 foot 1.5 person, and it didn't work for me. And you never know if there's gonna be snakes out where we parked and all that. So hopefully, um, normally they were at the park and you just had to fight for parking. But this year and last year, it's been at the golf course, and it's a good spot, I guess, but not the most ideal. And we don't have like a membership to the golf course, so we can't be like parking in the parking lot and seeing it from there. We have to go and park out in the dirt and gravel and rocks and stuff. And yeah, it just doesn't I mean, it worked, but it wasn't an ideal situation. Yeah, we'll figure it out. But like, I really don't want to have to go and find. Yeah, I would not be happy to find out that he has to close the store. He's been given specific instructions, wrote them down perfectly and all that, and I have to go and catch up to him because he's a lot closer than I am. But if that happens, we'd probably end up uh, having me catch up with them anyway, because we'd have to go out to dinner. I don't think we can afford to go out to dinner, but we'd have to figure out something. Okay, so yeah, so Esperanza's party is perfectly ready to go, viable and everything. Like I said, I'll probably wait until July 8th to buy them because that way they'll be set in stone and you'll be getting you'll be getting the new cover no matter what. But I love that new cover, except for that it kind of to me, it kind of looks like Ashley's had a little too much to drink, but it's a small price to pay. She's supposed to be looking like she's dancing. The more I look at it, it just yeah, the more I look at it, the more I'm seeing that I don't exactly like the way it came out, but it'll do. Um, yeah, I got nothing else to talk about. Well, yesterday I was trying to read part of Coral's story. Actually, I was going to read the whole thing. Um, but, she was our baby. Some of you are probably saying it's just a pet or it's just a cat. But, yeah, she was our baby. So, we'd had her since 2011. We got her in September and we got to adopt her in October. Or we got her on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we got her in September. Um, Late September. but maybe we got her on October 1st. But anyway, her birthday was in August. And I was really kind of hoping that she'd make it to her birthday, but uh, she decided January was a good time to go. So, um, so anyway, I was reading her book yesterday, and it wasn't the pictures. It really wasn't. It was just the fact that she's not with us anymore. So I started tearing up and couldn't read the book anymore. So hopefully I can, maybe do better sometime today and try to come up with that video that I keep saying I'm gonna make. Um, it's not that, okay, it's not that I don't want to make it. It's just I've been really super busy, and like I said, I started tearing up. I was so, so sad about it. And let's see here. I gotta come up with something better to talk about. Okay, so after I am done making sure everything is on the correct side of the book and everything, I am going to work on the book after the island, which is called I knew what it was called. Oh, Lessons in Love. That's what it's called. It's called Lessons in Love. And I got okay, so I got I guess you could say I got brain tied, like how people get tongue tied. I got brain tied because I was like, uh, I was trying to think of what's the name of that book and something about dating, but that was a previous word in a book after this one. So it didn't make any sense that I thought of it, but yeah, so I had to go and figure it out. But anyway, anyway, in that one, Sean and Ashley are dating, but Sean gets scared off. So Ashley's got to teach him that the being in love and holding on to the girl that you love, no matter what her father says, in this case, um, no matter what her father says, is the right thing to do. He loves Ashley. Ashley loves him. They ought to be together. But Hayden's over there making noises like, don't you dare date my daughter because you're a pirate. You're going to end up mouthing off to the wrong person and you're going to die. So then we're going to end up having to raise that baby. And, I don't want to do it. So he's trying to, stop that from being a situation. And the time he says it the first time, she's not even pregnant yet. But I'm also very eager to find out how many summers are in that book because that will answer the question of how old Ashley is in Esperanza's party in a few spots, and I can actually put an intelligent answer in there, I hope. Um, because I thought she was a certain age, and then I'm like, wait a minute, there's a summer and there's another summer. So if there's two summers in the same book, then she'd be older than what I'm saying that she was, and yeah, it won't make any sense. But literally, that may be the only typo that's even in that book. Like we've called everybody by their actual name. We have, I say we, it's me. Well, me and my editing team, because I do actually have an editing team. My sister, every once in a while, will go, does this sound better or does this sound better? And then I may or may not go with what she said because, sometimes she comes up with off the wall stuff. Or like my husband, I go, does this sound better or does this sound better? And he comes up with something totally different. And like say it's they're going Halloween trick or treating, and Ashley is trying to explain to Morgan that yes, this is totally legal. It's supposed to happen and everything, and then he'll go and say, "Well, maybe it's Easter." It's like, well, why would they be trick or treating at Easter time? He hasn't actually come up with that specific scenario, but he has come up with some weird stuff. Although the other day he came up with this idea. Well, the other week, he came up with this idea that my character Johnny from Esperanza's party, we totally like established him. We made him a thing. He's not a very nice thing, but we've made him a thing. He's very important to that part of the story, and then he's just we ship him off to New York and we never see him again. Well, in an ideal world, that's probably how it would work, but no. In my husband's head, you bring him back, you have him escape jail, and you have him wreak havoc again later. So I was thinking, I don't know why I was thinking this specifically, but I was thinking he's on the way to the jail in a prison bus. Oh, I didn't say it was a prison bus. I should say that it's a prison bus. Anyway, in a prison bus, and something happens. It gets a flat tire, runs over a rock, something like that. I just thought of that. the rock thing. But anyway, it gets a flat tire, runs over a rock, whatever I came up with. And then it ends up uh like turning over and over and over. So Johnny is the only one left alive. So he gets out of the bus. He's going to get out of the bus. And then the radio comes on, and, it's like time for the driver to check in. And he goes, Johnny doubles back and tells the guy on the radio that everybody, that the bus got a flat tire, ran over a rock, whatever, and it flipped, and everybody's dead. And he doesn't say it like, oh my gosh, everybody's dead. That's not good. He says it like, everybody's dead. Yeah. you know. So, anyway. He goes and hitchhikes, and this guy picks him up. He's got one of those 18 wheelers, and Johnny wants to be taken to New York City, but the guys gotta go off to the docks first. The spot where if Morgan and her crew were visiting New York, that's the spot that they would park in. So Johnny makes a different decision and decides that he sees a pirate ship over there, and he goes and signs up right away. Well, his first mission to be initiated into the crew, he signed up with the crew, but to actually become one of the members, right now he's like the noob level, but to become, one of the people, he's got to do a he's got to do a special mission request to, be allowed in. Otherwise, they're probably just going to, kill him, leave him on some island, leave him on the Amazon island. That would be interesting. Um, anyway, uh, and his first mission is to kill the captain of the Rolling Sea. But by the time that they finally catch up to them, the Rolling Sea's got a different captain, and he is quite evil. So you'll have to wait for that book to come out, but yeah. That was my husband's idea, and I was like, that's pretty good. And, the fact that we can go and have Ashley punch his lights out and he falls into shark infested waters and then they go and start fighting over the pieces. Yeah. I'm hoping that's not too graphic for people. I mean, on my stream right now. I'm hoping that's not too graphic. Ooh, we got 18 minutes. Okay, 18 minutes and then we can be done and I can work on my book. Well, I'm going to get breakfast and then I'm going to work on my book. I think I can actually have granola with milk in it today, which is even more. Okay, so if you have granola, it sticks in your stomach for a while, so you got that feeling like you're full, but it doesn't last long if it doesn't have the milk. The milk makes it more so it lasts longer, and I like it. And it's a really good alternative if you cannot have wheat to have granola. The granola I get actually has almonds in it, which I thought was interesting because I usually don't like almonds. They usually taste too dark for me. But apparently my tastes have changed and it's okay. Ugh. Yeah, I've been up since 6 something this morning. Actually, no, I can't say I've been up since 6 something this morning. I, went up there. I went upstairs, and then when I was done with that, I came back down, and I think I went back to sleep, and then I have been up since then. Whatever then was. 7 something. Anyway, whatever the deal was. Okay, so this side does not get any houses because this is just a big empty field. Or maybe we will have houses in this little section, and maybe we'll have houses in that little section, or maybe that's where we'll put the apartments, and then this can be the big empty field. I'm not entirely sure. Um, Basically, every time I make this, I kind of, I stick with the formula, but I also make it up as I go along. And it gets better every single time. Like, I remember way back when I was, I don't know how big this house was actually, but, excuse me. So I was building houses like, uh, this. It was the only block I had. And this was back in 2014. So, like, I built the house like this, and I'm like, I don't like this. This is too small. And I couldn't see I couldn't see the creepers and stuff. So, we ended up doing, no, we ended up doing that and hoping that we could see. And we'd put, like, one over here, too. Well, you can't see much out there. And the one time we like had that, and then we had this trench here, so they couldn't get over. I don't know if we had water there or what, but it was me and my niece, and we did not like playing Minecraft because of the creepers. And then my husband was like, you can turn those off, right? I'm like, how? And we turned them off, and it was all better. But yeah, we started playing in 2014 because it was a game kids could play. Like her father was playing like Call of Duty and maybe GTA. Um, but he was like playing Call of Duty games, and that's not okay for a 5-year-old. So we got some games that our niece could play. We got uh, Minecraft and Disneyland Adventures, and I love Disneyland Adventures. I love it. And I'm like really close to having 100% done on there, but it's telling me that I've only got 99% on um it's telling me I only have 99% on New Orleans Square. And I'm like, I don't understand that. Unless, unless I need to finish the parade just right or something to where I've got everything done. I can't think of a dang thing that I missed. I got all as far as I know. And okay, so I wish that they would do it like Dreamlight Valley. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to pick on them or anything, but I wish I would do it like Dreamlight Valley, where you could go back. I mean, where you could like, toggle it, you know, so you can see how many of the lights you've gotten. Because the only time that you see how many lights you've gotten is when you get a new one. And I don't like that. I wish you could have it on the screen the whole time, and be able to tell how many you have, or have in the menu a way to go in and figure it out, because there's no way to do that. So I'm hoping that they make a Series X and S version of Disneyland Adventures for one, and add add Star Wars Land, and maybe add uh Yesterland, where they have the hover bumper spaceships. They have America Sings. Uh, I mean, America Sings could be its own little. Uh, it's got that many acts, and you could go and conduct every single one of the acts, or Country Bear Jamboree. So Disneyland does not have Country Bear Jamboree, Vacation Hoedown, whatever you call it. Um, but on the curtain, it specifically said Country Bear Jamboree. But anyway, it doesn't have that. Disney World does, but it no longer has the songs that Walt thought were so interesting. Um, like the one where the bear in the pink dress is saying, "You pushed my love aside for all the promises you made, and I could taste the teardrops in my lemonade." Or that one that the Elvis bear was singing. I can't remember that one. Or the one where the bear and the octopus, they're standing next to each other, and her name is Dolores, but I don't think you ever learn what his name is. But anyway, the octopus, her name is Dolores. Um, he's singing two different worlds. We live in two different worlds. You know, I like those songs. I liked those songs, and I liked the ones from America Sings. One of them, uh, who shot that hole in my sombrero? Who put that bullet in my hat? Who shot that hole in my sombrero? Who'd do a terrible thing like that? I love those kind of things. It's not a song I would listen to every day, but if I could go on that ride again, it would be so nice to hear that. I mean, if they had to, they could go and update it so it's got a little bit of rap, got a little bit of reggae, rhythm and blues, contemporary. I don't know. Okay, so like when I'm listening to music, is if I like a song, I listen to it. If I don't like it, I don't listen to it. Yeah. But I don't necessarily know. Is it rock? Is it pop? Is it country? And country nowadays is, not really country. It's more like rock and roll, so that's making me want to listen to some of my favorites. Um, oh, like whiskey for my men and beer for my horses. I don't think that's the name of the song, but if it is, cool. That's some that's something I just remembered. Um, thinking of that song made me remember. In our town, they've got a radio station that plays the music that they'd like to play. I mean, that they'd like to have during the fireworks. So they'll have like oh, Independence Day by, I want to say, Martina McBride. I'm not sure. Anyway, so where the little girl goes to the fairgrounds or carnival grounds, whatever it was, and like that whole summer, her parents just pretty much thought she was in the way, and they started arguing while she was gone, and then the people came and took her away, and it doesn't tell you what happened to the little girl after that. Or no, actually, I don't even think they took her. I don't even think it said that they took her away. It just said that they took them away. Maybe they did take her away, but anyway, you know, the cool thing is the let freedom ring, let the whole world sing. But if you listen to the whole song, that is not an okay song. But then you get okay, I can't remember who sings that either, but for the red, white, and blue, um, his last name's Greenwood or something like that. He sings a good song. Um, and if I just got his last name wrong, please correct me. Uh, nicely. Nobody has okay. Uh, well, I can't say nobody, but 99.9 of the percent of the people who leave comments are not mean to me, so I'm not worried about that. But people are mean to YouTubers that I have watched, and I don't understand why people feel the need to be mean to people. Um, Although I got upset at a YouTuber I watched yesterday because he goes to Disneyland and he drinks alcohol. And I'm pretty sure that that's exactly what he was doing when he took his daughter last week or recently. Um, it was a family thing, mom, dad, daughter. And I'm like, I repeated, buzzed driving is still too much to drive home. I said it a little bit different, so it actually made more sense than what I just said. But anyway, it's not okay. And what if you get okay? What if you think that having like 5 drinks in one day is okay, but your brain is like it goes on like autopilot or no pilot at all. So you think you've got good judgment, but you don't, and then all of a sudden you don't know where your child is. And I usually use the example of on an episode of Roseanne, um, they used to be, like their thing is that they used to be drug addicts at one point in their life, and they had hidden some drugs in like the back of the toilet or something like that. So like, it was just a daily reminder of don't do this. But they like first, second season, something like that. Um, they decided, let's try this. Let's see what happens. And literally, their son came in and said, "Mom and Dad, can I go to the garage for something?" I don't even remember what. And Roseanne realizes that she has no idea where she just sent her kid. She has no idea because of these drugs. And I keep thinking of that when it's alcohol too, because the same kind of thing happens. It might be worse with drugs. I have no idea. I don't do drugs. I don't drink. I don't smoke. Any of that stuff. Um, anyway, I think of that episode when I see people drinking in front of their kids because first of all, you're gonna teach them that drinking is okay. And you never know if it's going to be that time when they get mad at you for something and they go off driving and they're going to crash into the tree, or if it's going to be totally fine and they come home safely. And I use that example because I do know somebody that happened to. So, you don't know. Oh, hey, it's 11. Okay. Um, so I'm getting off at 11 tonight. Well, as soon as I'm done with my outro. So please go on to Amazon and check out my books. Please. I would love it if you'd buy some of my books. Like I said, Esperanza's Party, totally perfect. I love it. Um, the stuff that wasn't clear before is clear now. And, and it's available in ebook, paperback, and hardback. I'm still checking on the others. Wait a minute. I got a dumb question. Oh, okay. So, because of the number of pages that it is, Adopted Coral only comes in paperback and Kindle ebook right now. Um, well, it says create hardcover. Okay, we'll work on that today then too. Um, but yeah, all the other books come in. It specifically says Kindle ebook, but I don't know if it has to be on the Kindle or not. But anyway, and they're available in paperback and hardback, and not in this order, but there's Esperanza's Party, The Island, Hard Times, Misfortune, Pirate's Daughter, and Adopted Coral. Specifically, Adopted Coral is $6 for the paperback, $2.99 for the Kindle. Pirates, that's Adopted Coral, just in case I didn't say that. The hardcover for Pirate's Daughter is $26, but the paperback is only $15, and the ebook is $3.05. Misfortune, $26 for the hardcover, $20 for the paperback, and $5 for the ebook. Stop that. Um, it did something. I'm pretty much scrolling up the page, and it did something weird. Hard Times, $26 for the hardcover, $20 for the paperback, $5 for the ebook. The Island, $25 for the hardcover, $20 for the paperback, and $5 for the ebook. And then the one that is totally done, you can buy it. Um, you know, I specifically say July 8th. It says live, but just to make sure. Um, Hardcover $24, paperback $20, and the Kindle book, the ebook is $3.05. So, those are all my books, and I would really love it if people would start buying them. I really think you would enjoy them. I'm just very bad at advertising. Actually, okay, so if I love something, I'm terrible at advertising my books, but like if I love something, like say it's a bake sale and we've got we've got like say 5 different kinds of brownies, 3 different kinds of cookies, s'mores, and some kind of marshmallow treat, I will go and say, like we're standing outside a grocery store, I'll say, "Hi, would you like to buy some treats today?" And I can go through that whole list, and then, as soon as something gets sold out, just take it out of the list. I could do that. It's just with my books, it's like, okay, I want to advertise the best parts so you'll be hooked and want to come over and buy them, or go onto Amazon and buy them. And in every single one of my, well, it's not every single one yet, but I'm getting there. But most of my videos that I've posted on YouTube have most of a list of what you need to type in to the Amazon search engine to get my books, because I put them in different languages. Normally in America, at the very least, it's type in Tina Rash Books. It's TINARASHBOOKS. No special spellings or anything like that. And you type that into the search bar in Amazon.com and you will find it perfectly. Now, there's other Amazons out there. That's why I just call it Amazon instead of calling it Amazon.com, because, there's like Amazon.au, I think it was, and .es, and, some other stuff. So, I will only ever say Amazon on here. But, yeah, so I went through a whole bunch of languages on Google Translate, and I need to get all of them. Oh, so I think I've got all of them for whatever Amazon has available. I think I figured out, every single one of the countries, and that's what I have on my list. But maybe I have more than that. I don't know. Um, but yeah. So, um, like I said, my books are Pirate's Daughter, Misfortune, Hard Times, Esperanza's Party, The Island, and Adopted Coral. Adopted Coral is my kids' book. Uh, it's a children's book that I wrote about my cat, and it made me emotional yesterday, and yeah. Um, And please like, share, comment, subscribe, notification bell if you're watching me on YouTube right now. And if you're following me on Twitch right now, you're probably pretty dang upset. I mean, if you're watching me on Twitch right now, you're probably pretty dang upset at me because I'm totally ignoring. Oh, good. Nobody was following. I mean, nobody was chatting with me. But yeah, so but please follow and chat when I do pay attention. I did not even think to put it on today. I am so sorry. I've got books on the brain. Oh, I was like they're on a certain ride, and the guy that I'm watching doesn't have that voice, and I was like, what's going on over there? Oh, he's on the train. Why wouldn't she flash photography on the train? That doesn't make any sense. It's okay. I always videography, so I was gonna say video photography, but it's not photography, so. So I watch a lot of videos. Um, I gotta stop this. You just get into a groove and you're like, okay, I know that I need to get this done. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I was like, okay, so I watch a lot of Disneyland videos, and I've noticed that on the train they are constantly telling the parents to make sure their kids are sitting on their butts. And I almost think that they ought to have like little seatbelts, so you can't get up, but it would be kind of hard to figure out exactly where that seatbelt needed to be if you're a kid versus an adult and all that. So, okay, so um, happy day before 4th of July. Um, yeah, so we were trying to figure out if there was going to be a parade, but I don't think there is. We always have the Nevada Day parade. And I found out that this past year, in 2024, the bandstand was practically I go down our street to the corner. I cross the street. I go down the sidewalk, and right there across the street was the bandstand. So that's where they were announcing everything for our area. And standing in front of it probably didn't do my hearing too much good, but well, actually I sat in front of it, but anyway, it probably didn't do my hearing too much good, but it was a really great place to be. Even though 3,000 people, and it seemed like 3,000 people, I'm exaggerating. Um, Even though 3,000 people walked by me. I don't really mind that too much, especially when there's, not a parade float or a car or, you know, whatever going by at the time. Okay. I've got to actually stop this. But like I said, you get into a groove and then you just keep on going on, going on. Hmm. So I guess we will stop this for now. And if I get on later, then we'll post it later. There should be a whole bunch of videos coming out tomorrow. Um, I kind of apologize for that because the idea was to go and oh, did I have that open already? Yes, I did. Okay. There. Okay, so tomorrow, so far in this order, should be uh, golf with your friends, and it's going to be escapists. Is that it? Is 12 minutes and 34 seconds? Yeah, so it should just be escapist, I guess. Maybe that's what I put as the first one, and then, I actually did two, but I don't think I did. I don't know. We'll find out together tomorrow. But, and then there's 4th of July parade from. Oh, okay. 4th of July parade from 2020. I mean, not 4th of July parade, but 4th of July fireworks that I recorded uh, in Minecraft. It's this year's display. We recorded it twice because we had Sid on and my husband, and we were able to go and go. We were able to go and do all 3 lanes of my fireworks, and it was really kind of fun. Except for that some of them are broken, but yeah. So, some of the fireworks just didn't fire off the way that they're supposed to, but it's okay. And then we have another copy of Fireworks 2025 Minecraft. Yeah. Okay, so just the 3 then. I mean, the 4. Wait. Okay, we got Fireworks that says it was recorded in October. Then we got ones from 4th of July 2025, and then Fireworks 2025 Minecraft. Okay, so that's what we've got. And I may go on there today after I, give up on doing books for the day. I may go on there again, see if we can get some of the fireworks to go off like they're supposed to, and record it again, but I don't know. Because I was supposed to have it set to go off, all 3 lanes go off at the same time, but it didn't work. Okay. Ooh, maybe later we can go to Disney World. Okay, so I want to go on all the games that I know that have fireworks. I just remembered Minecraft Disney World has fireworks. I want to go and put all of those together in one big video, but I don't know if that's going to work. Because right now I've got my so I've got to remember how to do it. But right now I've got my download from Twitch going to an external hard drive that's not plugged in at the moment, and I don't know which one it is, and I'm afraid that it's the one that was beeping. You never want your external hard drive to start beeping. That's a bad thing. Unplug it if it is. unless it's supposed to do that, but I've never seen one that was. But anyway, you don't want it to start beeping. Yeah, I'm just going and rambling and going and rambling. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Giving good information though. Okay, so yeah, so what I say, 4 or 5 videos tomorrow. Every 15 minutes from 8 o'clock in the morning, unless I go back there and make another video of the same content. Uh, oh, I was thinking of, I keep thinking that I want to make a Thanksgiving Day parade. Like specifically like a Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, because that's the only one I know. But like I specifically want to do like a Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade and have it. I mean, have the happy gas, be the balloons, and like if we could put name tags on them, like say put Scooby Doo on this guest, and then like name the next one Chase from Paw Patrol, and Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and but then put in the classics too, where it's the one guy and the big guy and the little guy's holding on to his legs for some reason, and the Macy's stars, and the what was it, on Miracle on 34th Street, I think she said, I think he was saying, that baseball player looks like a giant to me. He's talking about the balloons. And she goes, he was a clown last year. They just, uh, what'd she say? Anyway, and painted him different. I can't remember the wording that she used. But, yeah, I haven't seen it since, November, December, so. Like, my in-laws think that Miracle on 34th Street should be, like, the video to watch on Thanksgiving because, like, it kind of, um, you know, part of the thing was that, um, it was the Thanksgiving Day parade, and they were gonna, I mean, she was gonna go home, and they were gonna have Thanksgiving dinner, and the neighbor had nowhere to go. He was gonna have a sandwich or something, and he goes and gets her daughter to get him invited, and anyway, the mom agrees, so they're gonna have Thanksgiving dinner together. And it's really cool because he's got the apartment that looks out onto the street where where you can see the parade from his apartment. Although I don't remember them actually opening up the window so she could hear the Thanksgiving Day parade. She can just see it. But maybe they're too high up. I don't know. They could have been on the second floor. They could have been on the third floor. They looked like they were on the second floor, though. They could have even been on the fifth floor. I said I was going to end this, and I haven't bothered to do it. Well, I gotta get this done, so we'll get these two done, and then I'm gonna try to remember to actually stop. I can always do this tomorrow, later, or something like that. I still need to go on Dreamlight Valley and get Natalie's Dream Snap done. I need to get the marshmallow thing. Uh, so, oh, I'm sorry, Llama. I did not mean to do that. Um, it's called Summer Sizzle, and you need to. I think it's you need to eat you need to eat 25 s'mores, and you need to give away 25. Uh, I can't remember what they're called right now, but marshmallow on a stick things. It's like marshmallow shish kebab. but I can't remember what you call them. Anyway, I need to do that for her too, because I don't think she got to do that last year. I only use Natalie if, like, normally I only use Natalie if, like, I did something on my main file, pirate. Uh, well, she's pirate author because that's my gamer tag. But, um, but yeah, if I didn't record something, that I did on pirate author, that's when I'll use Natalie. I'll go and do it on Natalie's file and record it there. But I can't record, actually. Oh, I keep thinking I need to continue this on, and I don't, because that's grass. Um, anyway, so like if I did something that, I forgot to record, or the recording messed up somehow, I'll go and do it on Natalie, and it'll be fine, because I'll still have it. I'm not sitting there with feeling like it's a mountain of regret that I did this thing and didn't record it. Literally, normally I record everything on that game. Even if it's just like I'm going on there real quick to get the last marshmallow and give away the last thing, or like collecting resources because you never know when you're going to get an orb. You know, so, um, anyway, if you don't play Dreamlight Valley and you like Disney characters, or Disney in general, you might like the game, and I do highly recommend it. Um, during the first few days of the update, though, it wasn't very fun because it was crashing. Oh my goodness, it was crashing. And ever since then, Peter Pan has been like haunting Donald and Minnie's house on my file anyway. It's weird. But yeah, I need to finish this. See, I got the thing of I need to finish this, but I also have the thing of I need to stop, eat. I need to stop and eat, and I need to actually get some more book stuff done. Because if I get the book stuff done, then I just have to get the. Oh, wait a minute. It was 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Okay. Well, technically, I guess I could go like that. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll put one of these. Okay, so don't take me at my word, but the idea is to put in this sidewalk and if I need to, more of the road, and then we'll be done. But like I said, don't take me at my word because I keep saying stuff like that and then don't do it. Yeah. But maybe somebody out there is like trying to figure out how to build a city or a town and is perfectly fine watching this whole thing and the vibrant visuals of the water. Um, I love the water on this vibrant visuals thing, but the fact that I had to go and turn up something or another so I could actually see as far as I used to, yeah, that kind of bugged me. Because I was trying to have this whole world, except for my add on, be default and not use redstone. Because it was either redstone or the fact that my build is so massive that corrupted it. So we're trying to not use any redstone at all here and see what happens. We're using sea lanterns, so it looks like they're LED instead of whatever they were before. Um, they're sea lanterns, I think. Oh, no. Yeah, sea lantern. Okay. Helps if you land on the correct thing. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I just want to put in the sidewalk and then hopefully we can actually stop like we said we're going to do. Trying to guilt myself into it, yeah. Anyway, so I guess for the next few times that you see fictional Ireland rebuilds, we'll probably be taking out that dirt over there that I was just taking out, or building more houses. Not sure which. Um, you gotta kind of be in the mood to build those houses because they're so involved. But but yeah, other than that, we could put in this, we could put in that. I don't know. Um, so really what I had to do is go and ride that minecart the rest of the way and yeah. Okay, now we're going back this way for hopefully the last time. I mean, technically we ought to have a white line down the middle, but I'm actually thinking about taking that out because, except for on this road that goes that way, we really don't need it. Okay, we're gonna follow this and see if we can finish the trip around the minecart tracks. Hmm. Oh, it's right here. Okay. So those are a TSMC-Minecraft build. Um, if you're stuck on how to build something, he probably has a thing to show you how to build it. Like, I thought I was very, very happy with my buildings, like this. How they're all square and, I thought I was very happy with my buildings. And then all of a sudden, he built, okay, I don't remember what the building was, but I was like, that would be great for a bank. So I went and gave it the little bit of ambiance that I thought it needed, and maybe it was a bank. Anyway, I gave it the little bit of ambience I thought it needed, and it looked so much better. The movie theater, he finally came up with something really awesome, and I'm gonna have to see if I can rebuild it. He's got like a 3 wall thing, like it's 3 different levels. Anyway, it looks really cool. And here's for, room for more. And that is the empty field. That is all supposed to be green, by the way. And I don't know what happened. Anyway, we're going out, at least out to here. We're definitely going to be going out further than that, but I can't show you. I can't really show you until later. I got kind of upset yesterday, speaking of that. Because, we buy corn tortillas, and they're little itsy-bitsy things. Oh my gosh. Maybe the size of a saucer plate. And yesterday, for some reason, they were there's a few of them that are like cut already. I'm trying to use it like a regular tortilla, where you put the stuff on the inside and kind of fold it over like a taco and eat it. But it was falling apart yesterday, so I ended up eating most of the bacon bits and cheese that were in there the hard way, picking it up with my fingers. Oh, I thought that was a cow for a second there. Sam, you leave her alone. Anyway, so this is supposed to be a big empty field. So, like, we used to live in Fairfield, California, And then there's like this big empty field. I mean, it's got hills and stuff like that. But anyway, between the two, it's got this big empty field, and that's what's supposed to be. You leave her alone. But as far as I can tell, it's big, it's empty, and, besides that, it's got hills, there's, like, nothing on it. Maybe it's, maybe it's supposed to have, like, cows and stuff, but I don't know. So, anyway. Oh. So, anyway, I kind of got that idea from that, but also that's the way it was in the dream that I had, where, the mansion's over here, and then you go that far, and, town's over there. So you see that wall on the right. You follow it all the way down to the other end over here. And I will hop out there for a second. I mean, a few seconds. Real quick. And then, as soon as we get back to the mansion, I will stop this stream. That's the plan, anyway. Or get back to where I was, so I'm, like, not freaking out, thinking that something's gonna get messed up. Because, okay, so I was working on my fireworks thing, and I had, like, too much redstone, I guess, or something, and it all got messed up. I was very upset about that. Anyway, so this is the back end of that fence. This is the back end of that fence, and at least 500 more that way. And there's trees, tons and tons of trees. There is a forest here, and through the forest, oh good, I'm in flight mode. Okay, through the forest, not that I was gonna die or anything, just okay, so through the forest, this is where I was meaning to end up. Through the forest is a path, and it goes to a clearing where there is a big tree. And that is Sean's favorite tree. I have no idea what's over here. I hope I can find my way back. Because I'm suddenly curious. Oh, gosh. Oh. I picked the wrong spot to build my stuff. Oh, well. Because the ocean's over here, too. I just thought, ocean's over to my left, and I should never do this, seriously. Okay. Because I always get worried that I'm not going to be able to come back. And why do I get that way? Because I got lost on my own world one time. Like I was building, and I was trying to build, so, I was trying to build so much of it, and I did not have a wall around when I was building. So, I fell asleep, and I ended up at least 4,000 blocks away from where I was. And after 4 days of trying to go back to where I was supposed to be, I realized, wait a minute, the sun was in that direction, so I started going in that direction, and I never did find it. But what ended up happening is that my husband went on there, and he'd been in my world, and he was at the fancy restaurant thank God he was at the fancy restaurant. Um, so it turned out that I was to the left. I mean, no, I was to the right of where I needed to be. So yeah, I was following the sun, but I was going off in the wrong direction again. But anyway, he teleported me to the fancy restaurant, and then I was able to find out where I was. Okay. So, this is important in Lessons in Love because somebody keeps uh uh beating up Sean's truck. And since they keep doing that, then it comes home without tires. And oh, that's why I did that. Wait, move! Move! Bo, move! Trying to get Roxy out of the cart. There. Phew. It's not like what happened to Bobby the cat. I still haven't found another cat. I may need to spawn one in. Trying to get Bobby out of the cart and accidentally killed her. Like the llama. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stand myself right here. So I can see the power telephone lines. He didn't know one way or the other, and I can't remember either. So, like I said, TSMC-Minecraft, he's got some really good stuff. He builds Burger Kings and McDonald's and sports arenas and museum, and oh, he's got a little white church that I will use. That's what I call it, Little White Church, but I think he just calls it a church. I can't remember actually at the moment. But yeah, he's got a whole bunch of neat builds. Or you can watch my stuff, and the stuff that he builds too will be here. Like the church. I think the church is the only one that we actually used here. Oh no, we used the movie theater front. Because otherwise it was really kind of boring the way it got built. Okay, so we need to flatten that, and in some cases bring it up to, yeah, up to here. And I've said everything that I need to say, so I will see you in the next stream or video. Oh, well, if you don't see, I mean, if I don't do a stream tomorrow, happy 4th of July 2025. Yeah. Now I will see you in the next stream or video.